Hello, welcome to the L&M channel and meet again in the Love Scout drama storyline episode 9. After being treated inappropriately, Gian accepted Eun-ho's invitation to leave the event. But Gian felt that Eun-ho was underestimating her because he interfered. Did Eun-ho think Gian wouldn't be able to handle it? Eun-ho apologizes for crossing the line, but if in that situation again, Eun-ho will act like that again because he doesn't want to see Gian hurt. Eun-ho wants to protect her as much as possible, so Gian doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay to look bad, because no matter what she is, Eun-ho will stay by her side. And when Gian arrives at her house, Eun-ho doesn't want to let go of her hand and they hug and kiss. Because they were so excited about kissing, the books and stuff on there fell down and they laughed. Mai saw Gian and Eun-ho coming together and she also saw Jiun smiling. Because she was curious, Mai entered her office and asked what made her so happy. Jiun felt that Mai was provoking her even though last night's event was not pleasant. And when Jiun wanted to tell her story, Yun-hun entered her office and Mai decided to leave them so they could talk. Yun-hun apologizes to Jiun for what happened last night. But Jiun thinks it's not Jung-hun's fault so there's no need to apologize. Yun-hun tells Jiun not to trust his father too much, but also not to make his father her enemy. Just take advantage of him, because they still need his money. Then Yun-hun asked, does Jiun like Eun-ho? Jiun answered that she was dating with Eun-ho. Hearing that, Yun-hun felt that Jiun was finally dating, then he asked permission to go to a meeting, because Yun-hun had to work so that he wouldn't be fired by Jiun. Eun-ho explained about the next company, which has a web portal with a market share of more than 50% in Korea. The company used to be number 1 in the industry, but failed to keep up with changes in the market. Its operating income has been declining for 3 years due to the lack of competence of their CEO and executive recruitment. And that caused the CEO to be fired, and people said that Next might go bankrupt. That's why they are looking for them in Korea Way to get a new CEO. If their competitor is Korea Way, then they can't lose, so let's fix themselves and show how they work at P-Place. Next company held a meeting with Jiun and Hyejin. Next wants them to find a CEO like they want, who can overcome the crisis that is happening in the company. After Jiun and Hyejin finished their meeting with Next, there was Eun-ho, who's waiting for Jiun. Hyejin thought they were like currently dating. She reminds Jiun to be careful with Chairman Woo, because he can easily dump Jiun. Don't let Jiun forget her job because of dating. And Hyejin feels that Eun-ho is good at choosing women. Does Eun-ho know what kind of woman Jiun is? Eun-ho confidently said that Jiun is a disciplined, firm and also stubborn person. He told Hyejin to compete healthily this time and Hyejin thought they could enjoy it now, because there won't be much time left. Yun-hun saw Eun-ho, who was working alone, then he invited him to have dinner together. Without further ado, Yun-hun asked if Eun-ho liked Jiun, and Eun-ho answered that he really liked her. Eun-ho knew, actually Yun-hun already knew that. Then Yun-hun hoped that Eun-ho would protect her, because his father was very scary. Actually Yun-hun tried to protect Jiun, but he couldn't do anything because Jiun said she liked Eun-ho. So, he would watch over Eun-ho and they drank again until Yun-hun very drunk. Yun-hun was very drunk and he didn't answer when Eun-ho asked where his house, because he didn't get an answer. Eun-ho forced to invite him to his house. While in the yard, Yun-hun saw Soo-hyun and greeted her. Eun-ho was surprised how they get to know each other, and Yun-hun said that they were comrades. At that time he was going to say comrades unrequited love, but Soo-hyun covered his mouth so that Eun-ho wouldn't hear him. Soo-hyun became very nervous and she invited Eun-ho to come into the house because it was late. She is confused to explain because actually Yun-hun was her drinking friend. Then in front of Soo-hyun's house, her mother came out because there was a commotion and Yun-hun pretended to be close to her mother. and he suddenly came in and slept on the floor of Soo-hyun's house. In the morning Yun-hun wake up, then he wanted to leave, because he was embarrassed. Then her mother stopped him. Previously, he came in without permission. Did he also want to leave without permission too? Her mother told him to have breakfast first, and she was curious about what Jang-hun's relationship with her daughter. When Yun-hun wanted to answer, suddenly there was a doorbell. Yun-hun remembered, when Soo-hyun was drunk, she said that her unrequited love always took his daughter with her. And when he saw Eun-ho, Yun-hun knew who Soo-hyun meant. Soo-hyun became embarrassed with Yun-hun, because he finally knew that Eun-ho was her unrequited love.
이거네.
Two staffs asked Eun-ho if CEO Min Joon-hyuk would come to their office for a meeting with Ji-yoon. And Eun-ho said that at 3 o'clock they would have a meeting here, and that made them happy, because CEO Joon-hyuk was very handsome. And Kwang-hee agreed with CEO Joon-hyuk's handsomeness. He was the CEO of a successful interior design company and had skills, appearance, and personality that women were crazy about. Kwang-hee was very curious if Ji-yoon was interested in him, and if they dated, they would be a perfect couple. Hearing that Eun-ho stared at Kwang-hee sharply, it seemed like he was angry with what Kwang-hee said. CEO Joon-hyuk finally came and he introduced himself to Ji-yoon. It turns out he came there because he was looking for a designer. He wanted someone who could work on the project immediately. And Ji-yoon will try to find that person for him. At that time, Eun-ho acted strangely. He scribbled on the paper until his pencil broke. When CEO Joon-hyuk asked if Ji-yoon had time for dinner tonight, CEO Joon-hyuk knew that Eun-ho was acting strangely, like he was burning with jealousy. So he invited Ji-yoon to his house, and Eun-ho didn't need to come with them because he would take Ji-yoon home after finish. Eun-ho insisted on coming, but Ji-yoon forbade him and told him to go home, and Eun-ho could only obey her, and he is very upset. That night at the office, Ji-yoon enjoyed the air by enjoying the coffee that Eun-ho brought. They praised each other with their work, and Ji-yoon asked Eun-ho to date tomorrow. But tomorrow Eun-ho already had an appointment and he didn't say who with. He would only tell her after they met tomorrow. It turns out Eun-ho met Mr. Park Ki-hoon. He was an eyewitness to the fire involving Eun-ho when he was little. He just found out the name of the person who saved him from the fire. He was Kong Kyung-tae. He was a teacher at an elementary school nearby. When he died while saving a child, everyone thought he was a hero. But the poor daughter he left behind, she became an orphan in an instant. Mr. Kong only lived with his daughter, and after her father died, she was raised by a different family. Mr. Park only heard that she was the CEO of a company, but he didn't know her contact information. He only told Eun-ho to find out where Mr. Park used to teach. But when Eun-ho went to the school where he used to work, they couldn't give Eun-ho personal information. Then Eun-ho got a call from Mr. Park. He told Eun-ho that Mr. Kang's daughter's workplace was P-Place, and the school told Eun-ho that his daughter's name was Kong Ji-yoon. Hearing that, Eun-ho was very shocked and he was very sad. Because of him, Ji-yoon lost her father. He remembered when the fire broke out, no one helped him even though he had screamed for help. Until a man came to save him and gave him to the firefighters, while he was still in the building and didn't save. It turns out that the man is Kong Kyung-tae, the father of Ji-yoon, the woman he loves. When he was sad, Bail called Eun-ho and told him that she was with Ji-yoon. Eun-ho followed her, and previously they met at a book cafe, and then Ji-yoon invited her to enjoy ice cream. Eun-ho saw them very close and he is confused about how to act with Ji-yoon. On the way home, Ji-yoon felt that Eun-ho was not like usual. She was worried whether Eun-ho not feeling well. But Eun-ho is okay. He actually worried that Ji-yoon would be tired because she had to take care of Bail. But Ji-yoon is not tired. She actually happy because she spent time with Bail. Ji-yoon said that Bail was very proud of her father, and that made Ji-yoon jealous of her because she has a father she was proud of. Hearing that, Eun-ho felt very guilty towards Ji-yoon. Mai asked Jiun if something happened to Eun-ho, because Eun-ho sent a message that he couldn't go to the office today. But Jiun didn't know that. She just found out if Eun-ho didn't came and his number also can't be reached. Then Jiun sent him a message to contact Jiun immediately if he reads her message. It turns out that Eun-ho came to Jiun's father's resting place. Eun-ho thanked him because he saved Eun-ho, and now Eun-ho asked for permission to protect Jiun. After that, Eun-ho called Jiun and apologized for not giving her any news. He said that he missed Jiun and Jiun told him to come home. Jiun opened the door and she is happy to see Eun-ho. Then Jiun asked what happened, why Eun-ho disappeared from her. Eun-ho didn't answer her. He just hugged Jiun and apologized to her for making Jiun live lonely. Jiun wondered why Eun-ho apologized about that. Jiun felt his attitude was strange today. Eun-ho told her that he went to see Jiun's father. There was something Eun-ho had to say, that the little boy his father saved was him. Hearing that, Jiun let go of his hand. She felt very sad and in her eyes, there is disappointment.